I got a big old box of dice in the mail, which means it's time to review another Kickstarter, and today we'll be looking at the Explorers Collection by Homebrew Dice. Now, I get asked to review dice Kickstarters a lot, and normally I say no unless there's something new or interesting about the dice or the Kickstarter in general, and this is no exception, but we'll get to that shortly. Homebrew Dice mailed me the 10 sets from this collection, each in their own uniquely designed box, and that's a huge plus for me already, but the main reason I like this Kickstarter is their stretch goal. Each of these themed dice will come with a one-shot D&D 5e adventure if you buy 3 sets. Their prices are also pretty reasonable for dice like this, so I wouldn't say that that's asking a lot, and that's such a cool idea that of course I'm interested in getting each of these their own adventure. And as awesome as that is, the dice are actually really pretty to go along with it. And I'm going to go through each set, starting with this Alchemist Fire set here. This is very different than most of the fire dice you find online that are all transparent. This one is transparent, but it almost has a matte-like finish. It makes it very different than anything else that I've seen, and it's very, very pretty. Same thing goes for the D20, though I do have to notice that there are some pock marks on the D20s through all of these dice. That tells me that they used a single mold to make all these handmade samples of what they plan to manufacture, which is totally an easy fix and something that I'm sure they'll address when they move to scale, but I definitely have to mention it and show you all here. But these are handmade samples. Handmade dice are often imperfect and just to demo the final product. The second set that we're going to take a look at is the Thundercat set, and you'd totally be forgiven if you thought that these were going to be my favorite. They are yellow and gold and shiny and absolutely gorgeous. Again, ignoring the surface bubble issue, the bling factor on these dice are off the charts. They are literally filled with gold leafing foil in them, and that's always a win to me. We should also talk about the boxes that the dice come in. Each box has a magnet on the edge that the lid flap closes on, and a magnet in the flap itself to keep the box closed. You could totally use these as a mini dice tray, though I don't think you'll be carrying much else, as the standard size minis just don't fit inside the box with the lid closed. Oh well, you can still roll the dice in them and the boxes look great. The third set that we're going to look at is Irian Skies. I'm not really sure the name of it, but it's so good looking, and this is the one that I was most looking forward to opening. That pink and blue color in each die is just absolutely gorgeous. It looks like an Aurora Borealis in my hand, and it reminds me of playing Skyrim, so it's going to go for my Viking character that I have, and I really like these. For the fourth set, we have the Siren Song. I was not really looking forward to these. I didn't really care because I'm not hugely into the mermaid aesthetic. However, these are really good and very surprisingly pretty to me. Not only are they two-toned to where they have a really deep water-like feel on the bottom number, the top is filled with these really iridescent mermaid scales or lizard scales, I'm not sure. They're pearlescent and they're gorgeous, and they make the whole thing shine. Because of the flat surfaces on the D6 and the D4, I would definitely say those are the best in the set, but the whole set was surprisingly beautiful. Coming in at set number 5, we have the Genies Wish, which I wish I had more to say about them, but they're just pretty. They do a really good job of suspending glitter in their dice, which is a very hard thing to do, so I have to give the homebrew dice people props for that, because those really large pieces of star glitter on the inside are really beautiful, and they make for a pretty set, although pretty plain compared to the rest of the sets. Speaking of set number 6, I'm gonna sick this Moss Hound on you. I don't know, the pun was reaching, but I also don't really know why it's called Moss Hound. These are really bright bubblegum pink and green butterfly glitters. The set is absolutely gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, this is a very fairy or pixie druid-like set if I've ever seen one. It's really, really pretty. I'm just not entirely sure why it's called Moss Hound. Maybe I'm missing something here, but I absolutely love the set, just confused by the name. But I don't know, I'm barking up the wrong tree. And remember, 6 is afraid of set 7, and it should be, because holy crap, this Blink Fox set blew my mind with how pretty it is. This matte silver combined with these iridescent circles, I don't really know what else it is, but it's just so pretty, and every single edge on each of these dice as you move it around glows with a rainbow-like pearl pattern. This was the most surprising set to me for how pretty it was. I was not at all looking forward to Blink Fox, but it quickly became one of my favorites in the entire Explorers collection. Highly, highly recommend Blink Fox. The Salamander set was one that I was originally not very interested in based on the pictures that I was sent, but the dice quickly proved me wrong. I would say that they are the definition of greater than the sum of its parts, because if you look at the sides of these dice, it's just 2 halves of red and black, but because of this weird glittery mixture that's very matte, you can see right through one color to the other, and it looks absolutely gorgeous and exactly as described. These are Salamander dice, and I can't wait to play a lizard folk with them. Of all the sets that I would have expected to like, the Snuffle Womp set I would not have found to be my absolute favorite from the entire collection. I love the pink, blue, and gold aesthetic, and the camera just doesn't do it justice for how reflective and glittery these things are. It's crazy. This is absolutely my favorite set, hands down. This just feels purely like arcane and whimsical. It really reminds me of playing an arcane mage in World of Warcraft, and so maybe I have some nostalgic connection to these, but I love them. I'm absolutely going to be using these dice moving forward. And the final set that, again, I can't share the original name, is called Naga's Kiss. These are very desert themed, as is evident by the desert on the box, but I'm getting only snake vibes from these, which I guess I should. They're called Naga's Kiss. I just moved back to Texas, and so I'm very much feeling the Western Copperhead style vibe that these give off, and I really like them. I don't know, maybe I'll play them when it's high noon at 12 o'clock or whenever, because I really think that these fit a gunslinger with snakeskin boots vibes, and I'm very much into it. I also took these dice and tried to scratch them by taking the sharpest corner of the D4 and trying to scratch the D6, but I couldn't because these are rounded edge dice, so they're going to be pretty durable. You know, looking at them up close is all well and good, but I'm going to shut up for a minute and let you see and hear what these sets actually do on the tabletop, because that's where it matters. Ooh, and the first nat 1 goes to the Siren Song. I guess it should have been called the Swan Song, because obviously I can't recommend that, and that's the last time it'll see play on my table. And of course, the one that I said was my favorite gets the only nat 20 out of all the rolls. I mean, I'm not saying I call them, but you know, I kind of call them. Okay, I didn't notice this when I was filming. I noticed the nat 1, but I didn't notice that the next two rolls were 11 and 11 again. The set literally goes for snake eyes. I don't know what you want from me. In the end, all of these sets are absolutely gorgeous, and I'm sure somebody's favorite, though obviously mine is the best one that's my favorite, but I do gotta say I have honorable mentions to Blink Fox, Irian Skies, or Irian, I don't know, and Snuffle Womp, of course, is the absolute best one. But again, the whole reason I wanted to review this Kickstarter was for that stretch goal of the one-shot adventures coming with the sets of dice. I think that is such a cool concept and something that I think miniature makers should have been doing for a long time. I think it's a great way to get a backstory for your character, assuming that's how they go for it. It may be that you fight a certain monster that's themed around these dice. I don't know, I just really like that concept, and I think it has an awesome place in the dice making Kickstarter world. And maybe when those PDFs are released, I'll do a follow-up video to this one day. Thank you so much for watching. Which set was your favorite, and let me know what other Kickstarters you might want me to review in the future, and subscribe so that you don't miss those when those come out. Like the video if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it, and thank you so much for watching once more. I hope that you have a fantastic day.